Welcome to Women Like You. Women like today's guest are making the difference in the lives of others every day. Leveraging years of success in the business world, Maria Dominguez spends her free time serving the homeless in her community and partnering with other agencies throughout the Bay Area. We'll find out more when we return.
As my mom left, my husband left, my dog ran away, everybody's leaving me, I kept thinking, what's wrong with me? All the experiences that I had leads me to be able to minister and relate to the people that I love on. Where I want L.O.S.T to go is I really want L.O.S.T to be in every city. I don't want to say that it's easy, but it really is easy.
Welcome back. Once a recruiter in high-profile agencies, Maria Dominguez has been a real estate agent in the Sacramento area since 2003. We celebrate Maria today for the work she has done for the homeless, both in the Sacramento area and the San Francisco Bay, while continuing in a demanding profession. You must have nerves of steel.
Yes.
First in recruiting and then in real estate, especially going through that season of time where real estate was not an exciting or popular field to be in.
Definitely, definitely.
Wow. So tell me about how you kind of got these kinds of nerves.
Right, and how you could be successful in both. I mean, help us.
Well, that's a good question. For me, recruiting, I love it because it has to do with people. It's helping people get to the next level. Once you have a job, you could do a lot of things. Buy a house. There you go. I went right into selling real estate. Real estate is tough. I mean, really, really tough. And with a lot of prayer, it's what gets me through because it's a very demanding career. I can't even explain how demanding it is. And sometimes when I go to minister and when I go to do these things, it's like the real estate career kind of tugs at me. It makes it very, very challenging. And again, it's prayer.
But it's rewarding too to see somebody happy that they finally got into a home that they thought maybe they couldn't have. And I think I read that about you. You really enjoy that part of it where you actually made someone's dream come true in the area of real estate, which is so cool. And you're actually from San Francisco.
Yes, born and raised in San Francisco.
Wow.
So you left us for Sacramento.
I did.
What do you find different about the two areas?
San Francisco is very city. It's very moving and shaking. When I moved to Sacramento, it was very for family reasons. I wanted to be able to own a home. I wanted to be able to raise my son by myself. And sadly, I couldn't do it here in the peninsula where I ended up moving from. So for me, it was about opportunity for jobs and just to have more family time with my son.
So Darnisha, how are you connected? I know you know each other.
Well, Maria and I go to church together. And so I know so much about Maria as far as her spunkiness and energy and how well spoken she is, how successful you are has really blessed me. Not only have you been successful in kind of your own career path, but I see that success spilling over into your heart for people. And that is so inspiring to me. It has been very, very inspiring to me to see you on national platforms and then down in the trenches, serving with your hands and on your knees. And so that's how I got to know Maria as a church.
And that's amazing, serving in the trenches. Let's talk about that. You are successful. You have a family. You could stop there.
Correct.
And instead, you felt led to really work with the homeless. Can you talk about why and what you do?
To explain to you why and how I ended up serving in the trenches is to tell you a little bit of the backstory. Back in 2009, my mom passed away, and she had stayed with me for a number of years. And I had a dream the night before that I would be planning a funeral. And sadly, the next day, she passed. A few months after that, my husband left. Unbeknownst to me, there was no signs. I just came home to an empty house. And then I lost my house. I lost another job. I lost actually 2 houses, and then my dog ran away. And so in a matter of a year.
Where is this man? Wow.
In a matter of a year,
my
whole life changed.
My goodness.
And I ended up being blessed by a trip, and I was sitting there and just sleeping, taking a nap, and the Lord said to me, Maria, you have my heart. which I thought was kind of shocking considering the fact that I had been told that I love too much and I just care for people too much, and it became my thorn when I was growing up.
Wow.
And the Lord was saying, it's not a thorn, you have
That's
my
a
heart,
gift.
and I want you to go out and save the lost. And I was like, well, duh, aren't we all supposed to go out and save the lost? That's what our commission is. And he said, I want you to go out and save the lost. And that's where he gave me the L.O.S.T, loving on someone today.
Oh, that's perfect, because I was just going to ask you where they came from and what it stands for. Loving on someone
today.
Today.
So did you feel like you needed to be loved on at a point? It seems like you lost everything. You were basically homeless.
Correct. I mean, I had no idea where I was going to live. And it was through the grace of God that I ended up at my friend's house, and I ended up at Real Life Church. And so, sadly, I mean, all the experiences that I had leads me to be able to minister and relate to the people that I love on. You know, whether someone's abused, I've been there, done that. Someone who's going through recovery, been there, done that. Homeless, been there, done that. I mean, there's so many different areas and there's so many different people that just need to feel like they're loved. And I've been a part of the church for, you know, since the mid-90s. And I was so wounded and so hurt. And that for me, I felt like even those that are in the church, that are praising and worshiping God and they're serving and they're doing these things, they need to be loved on as well. So it's kind of like my personal mission to love on people no matter where they are, what they look like. It doesn't matter. They're still children of the Most High.
All right, lots here.
Absolutely.
And you know, Maria, we're here to applaud you, for what you are doing. And it's amazing how God takes our circumstances, not necessarily those he planned.
Correct.
But takes our circumstances and turns them into something beautiful, and you've allowed that. I want to hear more, so more with Maria Dominguez when we return.
I walk in freedom. I don't walk in the bondage of my past hurts or my past habits or my past hang-ups. No matter what I've been through, I know that God is going to turn it around.
We're back with Maria Dominguez, founder and director of L.O.S.T Outreach, and we were just talking about all of these things that occurred to you, one person within a small time, period of a year.
I was mentioning, because I've known Maria in church, and being able to see the joy of the Lord on you from the outside looking in, you wouldn't be able to know that you were going through so much. How did you walk through all of that with that kind of joy? How did you get through it?
Well, one of the first things that occurred was I ended up enrolling in Celebrate Recovery. And my vow...
Great organization.
It's a wonderful organization.
Correct. And my vow was to not live the rest of my life how I had lived the first part of it. And I said, I need to be healed from it. I just had to be healed from it. And so layer by layer by layer was peeled away.
Was a layer.
Well, that was part of it. It was just the codependency. The abuse was probably the biggest piece of it, but abandonment. That's a huge part of it. So of course, as my mom left, my husband left, my dog ran away, you know, everybody's leaving me, I kept thinking, what's wrong with me? And there's a line in Celebrate Recovery that said, God never wastes a hurt. And that has been my mantra, because no matter what I've been through, I know that God is going to turn it around, and he's still turning things around for me. And through a lot of healing, a lot of prayer. And I went through Celebrate Recovery for a year, and then I went back and I taught for another year. So I had 2 years of the step study and going through and digging deep and healing those wounds, so that going forward, I was free. I walk in freedom. I don't walk in the bondage of my past hurts or my past habits or my past hang-ups.
They're
free.
gone.
I'm free.
You seem restored.
I am very much restored. I am.
Tell us about the homeless community served by your organization.
Okay, well, I started L.O.S.T when I was living in Elk Grove. And I remember telling people, I'm gonna go out and serve the homeless in Elk Grove. And people were like, there's no homeless in Elk Grove.
Wow.
Yes, there are. And so I started there, and I used to just cook meals and I had like a little route, and I would go along the route, and I started to see people every day, and if they needed prayer, I would pray for them. But more importantly for me, it was about building relationship. I am a relational person, and so the next step would be to love on them. So whatever it is, as part of our church, we were able to do weddings at the boat ramp, which was amazing. People think, homeless people don't want to get married. Yes, they do.
Can I just interject here? Sure. Because I think so many single women, we can get intimidated by doing something as bold as going out to feed the homeless. And I'm sure part of that courage was God had called you to that.
Correct.
And so you walked in God's wisdom and courage in order to step into that arena. But
very much so.
No excuses, right?
Right.
No excuses.
I mean, making meals.
Yes.
Making meals and just driving them along and looking for people who may need a meal.
And
awesome.
There's a particular person that I've met when I first started, and one of the things that he had said to me is, "Oh, my birthday's coming up," and I said, "What do you want for your birthday?" And he was like, "I want lasagna, I want a chocolate cake," and I was like, "You got it." And I brought back to him lasagna, homemade lasagna, and I made him a cake, and I bought him presents, and he was saying this was, since he had been living on the street, no one had done that for them. So I want people to know that they matter. And yes, courage. I mean, I go along under the highways and the byways in Sacramento. I've been to the LA Dream Center, I've been to the Tenderloin, and people tell me, "Maria, you're little. Be careful." And I was like, "I got the Lord on my side. It's all good." And I just walk boldly in that.
Right.
I don't have any fear. And there have been times when sometimes people kind of come out of the woodwork when I'm feeding, and I'm thinking, "Okay, Lord,
protection.
Please protect me right now."
Yes.
And all of a sudden they're around me, and it's a beautiful thing. And I've never really felt scared while I've been out there.
You just mentioned the Tenderloin, so you've been involved with City Impact.
I have.
So you've actually, I think that's amazing. She's been ministering in her own area, but let's not stop Maria. She's been moving back into the city where she began.
Wow.
And I love, and this is going to sound kind of funny, strange, but I love the dirtier, crazier, more chaotic environments. I love that.
Wow.
I do.
Well, tell us about what you've done for City Impact.
Well, with City Impact, I was a part of the group that went out and provided lunches to the SROs, or the single resident occupancy hotels that are in the Tenderloin. So that was primarily my position there. And we also rehabbed the preschool. I believe it was the preschool daycare that was right there in the middle of the Tenderloin. And even when I come to San Francisco and I see how the Tenderloin, I mean, it's gotten worse since I grew up here.
Right.
I mean, it's really, really bad. And so if the Lord calls me to pull over and pray for someone, I will literally pull over and pray for someone. I don't care.
How have you seen what God has called you to do as you feed, as you care, as you love? How has that affected the individuals that you're reaching out to? You want to make sure that they feel that they matter. Are you seeing that translate? Are they feeling that, and how are they responding?
Yes. I love my homeless homies, is what I call them, my homeless homies. And for me, they bless me in so many different ways. I mean, I've had them where they look for me. I've had them come up and hug me. They bless me because they feel like they matter. And I think that is a testament to the love of Christ. I mean, it really, really does. I mean, like I said, they call me. I even get phone calls from them. If there's a new person that's come into the camp, they make sure that I know who they are.
Wow.
And again, it's because I am making a constant effort to make sure that they know that they matter.
So you're not only joining other ministries, there are ministries that are now joining you in your work on the streets.
Yes.
Is that true? Well, can we talk about that more after the break? Awesome. More from Maria when we return.
They matter.
Right.
They have a story. They were someone's daughter or son or mother or father. I just love my homeless people. I love them because when I see them, I see Jesus in them.
Welcome back. Information on how to contact Maria will be provided at the conclusion of this program. Okay, Maria, tell us, what is next for L.O.S.T?
Where I want L.O.S.T to go is I really want L.O.S.T to be in every city. Because I often say L.O.S.T in Oak Park, L.O.S.T in Sacramento, and people are like, what do you mean L.O.S.T? I want people in different cities to love on someone today. And I don't mean, you know, paying it forward like buying a cup of coffee, but literally getting out and talking to someone that they maybe have never met, or that are down, you know.
So more than just opening the car window and putting $1 in the car.
Yes, yes. Listen to their stories. They have amazing stories. And again, a lot of homeless people feel like they're not seen because they're on the freeways, and you can just very easily stick your hand out and give them $1, and that's great, and that may make you feel better. But at the end of the day, they matter.
Right.
They have a story. They were someone's daughter or son or mother or father. A lot of them are vets. So it's important to sit and just take the time to listen and to hear their stories.
How does that happen? Does that happen because we go to a certain place to meet and sit, and do we do it through our ministries? Do we just do it like you've done it, by just driving down the street and meeting someone? How would you recommend for people to start plugging into that process?
I don't want to say that it's easy, but it really is easy. In that when you leave your house during the day and you're driving down the street, and take the time, you will see them. They're everywhere. And if you don't feel comfortable doing it by yourself, yes, join a ministry that focuses on the homelessness, because a majority of the churches that we have a homeless ministry. If you don't want to do it on a local level, on a consistent monthly, weekly, daily level, there are also national organizations that deal with homelessness. So there's plenty of places for people to plug into. And it doesn't necessarily have to even be a church. I mean, there are a lot of organizations that are out there today that they can do that.
And you spoke in several levels. You spoke of several areas in your life that led you to this. And if any one of those areas wouldn't have been there, you may not, you know, have gotten to the point that you got to. So loving on someone today, if they tell you that they've been abused, you can love on them there.
Yes.
Someone that needs to maybe benefit from Celebrate Recovery, or from, you know, getting away from some of those practices, you can love on someone there.
Correct.
So there are places that anyone watching can love on someone today.
Correct.
You're only challenging us to love on one person today. I would like to think I could do that. And then for those that are more aggressive and feel that, you know, and I think the Lord gave you that passion through your experiences. Others may have other experiences as they're watching us today. Act on those, because that's part of your testimony. Use bad for good. That's the way I try. Turn bad to good. Use it for His purpose. And what I also love is by showing love, you're showing the love of God that we're supposed to do. You know, it's very clearly stated.
Well, I love how Maria, you said that you not only went through Celebrate Recovery, but your next step was to teach.
Yes, give back.
And teaching takes us to a whole different place of application to what God is teaching us and showing us and revealed to us in our lives. I think that's very, very powerful. As we talk about helping and reaching out to the homeless, I think about how many folks feel that it's wasted energy. And hearing your heart and your passion to let us clearly see these are people that God loves, that He cares for. And as believers, if God's called you to it, you can make a difference in everyone's life. In everyone's life. How would you help us, or help someone who might be struggling with that concept, change their mind?
I would say go to God, go in prayer. I think that scripturally, it even says in Matthew 25, it talks about when you take care of, when you feed, when you clothe, that's Jesus. That's, and I hate to say that it's just like this easy connection. And I know a lot of people won't do it because of fear, but it's true, it's what we are called to do. And I just love my homeless people. I love them because when I see them, I see Jesus in them. And even though some of them don't know the Lord, they get to see the Lord work through me. And that, again, is what we are called to do. So I would suggest that anyone that is thinking about doing something, definitely go in prayer and act on what the Lord says. If he tells you, go out, you feed my sheep, you feed his sheep. If he says, stop and talk with the woman who has 4 kids and she's hungry, or buy her groceries, or do a birthday party, or perform a wedding, just do that. It doesn't take much, and the benefit and the payoff are just a beautiful, beautiful thing. To see them flourish, to see them eventually get off the streets, get into a place of residence, get a job. You know, I have several of my friends that have gone on and got a job and are living on their own now, and they call me and they say, Maria, we are doing what you did for us. We are blessing someone else. So again, it's multiplication, it's relationship.
Awesome.
So you actually have been able to see the fruits.
Yes.
Not everyone is able to, but you've seen people get off the street because of what you've done.
Yes.
And they are in society.
Yes.
And then giving back.
Yes.
How does that make you feel?
Emotional. Very, very blessed, because I know that because of the love of Christ for me, and that I was able to then show someone else the love of Christ through me loving on them, they were able to feel like they matter enough to make a change.
Wow.
Does it help you feel better about your circumstances, that they occurred?
Yes. Again, God never wastes a hurt. And if I had to do it all over again to get to where I am today, and when I say get to where I am today, I mean my walk with Christ today.
Your walk with Christ, yes.
I would do it all over again.
Wow.
I would.
Well, women like you are making a difference.
Thank you.
And we thank you for being with us today, and thank you for all that you are doing.
Thanks.
For more information about today's topic, go to ktln.tv, and remember that KTLN is a donor-supported ministry. Programs like this one are made possible through your support. Join us again next week.